July 13th, 2018, Friday. I tried recording this prior, I didn't like where it was going, so I'm going to record it again. It's convention time at Market America, which means an assload of projects. And the chance I'm having to work nights and or weekends, which we're working a weekend already. Great. I've probably got 4 or 5 things I'm tasked with doing manual testing for. And probably a few other tickets, and God knows what else is going to get thrown at me, just because, it seems like. But I'm making money, and I have nice benefits package. And to pay for what? I'm not married. I don't have a kid. I don't have a horrible illness. My cat, Olive, she's healthy. As far as I know, she's going to do that tomorrow, though. Just saying. I've had to check up. Not suspecting anything, it's just been 6 months. Anyway. I don't have an ailing family member. I'm not so riding the borderline that I'm gonna fall over about half this job. I'm not saying I can just take a pay cut and see no impact. I am going to have to affect my budget. Probably going to have to help Chris less, but hopefully he'll get a job back that he was justly unfired from. So I can take a step back to get a job that doesn't exhaust me so much for nothing, really. I am the firstborn son of James L. Spitzer. I am him version 2.0. I'm better in many ways, but damn it, am I also still just like him in many ways too. Him and me can get ourselves worked up. We don't need anybody else to help. Now I can sit here and probably complain, oh well, you know, how could my management do da da da, and I'm not going to. I have a feeling this is all on what Market America wants, and it's convention time. Which, okay, I agree to do this job. I haven't left it yet, so until then I'm their employee, so I have to do it. And I also don't think that it was on QA's management at all that we got backlogged or anything. I think it's just a bunch of projects were due, and other people outside just haven't necessarily done their job right. And didn't try to think about, hey, we might want to give QA some time to test this. Maybe by getting stuff in earlier, or providing us data, or trying to help us limit the scope of testing. That would we test only what's necessary and essential, or testing it so bloomin' much that we don't test very much. Something like that. Because I've been here almost 4.5 years now. I know how stuff works. I've seen how it works. Yeah, it's better. But I've also seen us get better and then regress back to chaos. Get better and then regress back to chaos. Get better and then we get swamped again. Get better and then we're swamped again. See, like as time goes on, I'm automating less and less on average. Granted, the average before was 100% of the time. but it's too easy for me to have to be pulled into 3 or 4 or 5 different things and not expand automation at all. Oh, well, we'll just document all the scenarios that we can automate them later. Okay, when's later? Oh, when we have time. Which will be at some point. My job has looked a lot less like an automation engineer's job. Maybe for 2 years now. So we're probably getting close to the halfway mark, where it would be almost surprising that my title of automation engineer is not just a hollow title. Not to say that I've been automating off and on for the past 2 years, but it's also been really common for me to not touch automation really in depth for a long time, aside from, well, it's not on fire right now, which is not what I want. We already had somebody leave. Of course, he was still had been out of being an intern for more than a few months. In my opinion, was probably being a little not sure what word to use, but he wasn't happy about having to do a bunch of manual testing. Not that I was either, but but he found a new job. Good for him. So I gotta say, good for him. Two newest people, Adam and Charles. They've done QA elsewhere. They know what they're doing. They have great ideas to contribute. I want to hear every last one of their ideas if I can help it. And they've already called out a couple of things that weren't good and added some good ideas. Although some stuff they've called out is stuff that even I could have told you, yeah, that's not right. And all they're really doing is just adding expertise to back up that said idea that we're doing or not doing is whatever it is. And maybe it's something about how Adam just... He's clearly not one to want to sugarcoat stuff. If he thinks it's a bad idea, he thinks it's a bad idea. Which is good. Yeah, it's good to have that honesty. But it makes me much more than I was before not like having to say anything where it's like, well, we just gotta deal with it. It makes me even more leery to do it. Because I know he's gonna call out BS when he sees it. It's different when I was training Marcus and Domingo, because this was first actual job they had. So some of it gets lost in the, well, it's your first job, so you gotta just have to deal with it after a while. I'm sure about to go off and get another job pretty quickly when he didn't like what was going on, but I digress. First job, you're probably gonna stick with it for a while. You'll just gut through unless it's really bad. It wasn't really bad when they started, I suppose. But these are two guys that don't necessarily need to stick with this. If they wanted to, they could probably go find another job if they needed to. And for all I know, this is the best QA that they've had. They just care a really great deal and don't want to have shit happen when they don't need to. But I will say that if one or both of them leave, well, both of them is going to be horrible anyway, but just one of them leaving, And the reason it comes down to they just don't like what's going on or what's not being done or how slow everybody is to implement better QA processes. I'd probably have to be out the door pretty soon after, because for me it's a thing that I never want to see happen, which is somebody great comes in, they can do a lot of great things, but then because of how Market America does stuff, they just trample all over them trying to do the right thing or the better thing, and they deem their skills more useful somewhere else or more valued somewhere else, which they wouldn't be wrong in some occasions, probably. Market America free to do what they want. But if they want to have us take 30 minutes to go out and make some freaking, I don't know how to describe it, like some business initiative better. Okay, can you like give us a month where we actually try to start better processes and don't try to keep cramming stuff out the door? Can we get that? That's what I'd rather do. Then maybe we can take that 30 minutes you would like to tell you how to make the business better in the financial way. Maybe we could actually get stuff that works really well. You don't have to keep up with brand new shiny ideas. But I digress. I think I probably am reaching a point where I've had enough. It was probably about 2 years ago. After convention, automation team had to spend the better part of a month trying to do some email testing that was just an unmitigated disaster. And for months after that, we were seldom if ever really automating. But until the convention that followed a few months later, that we were back on automation finally. Meanwhile, nitwit programmer who couldn't do anything to save her life was spending all of her time automating. Granted, she had a manual test and she would have bombed anyway, but I digress. And then there was a time when we were trying to do a lot of shop stuff and try to do all their processes. And I remember being gotten on for needing to do something their way, and I was thinking, I really don't care how they're doing it. I don't care to do it their way. Their way is horrible. Because it is. And it's all gotten better. I'm not gonna lie, things are better. But it's still awful sometimes. It's still painful. And there's still that risk that I'm going to have no idea what I'm doing that day. Or that week. Because I counted. There are 9 people. 9 people that can give me something to do or something to work on. Myself included. Think about that. You have 9 people who could ask you to do something. Now, of course, I need to be my own lead. But there's 3 of those people I probably can't really overrule very well. Everybody else would be rude. This whole thing of, well, I'll deal with my Scrum team, everybody else deals with theirs, falls apart once you need to manually test in more than one country on something that's not going to be 3 quick checks. For example, I'm doing the management for my franchise. The biggest and most important site. I can't do that on my own if I have to test in more than one country. It needs to be in all 9 countries, all 10 countries, however many. I have to pull other people in. Now I'm told, oh, well, we need to go up with, those people you can call on. Pretty sure that was said a few months ago. And it's been said several more times since then. Where's that list? Where is it? I still have no clue who I can actually call on. Want to go check the dashboards and see who's not working? That's not a good plan. Go off something. They got a bunch of stuff that's just not deployed back to staging testing yet. I don't know what all people are doing. And it's probably a big thorn in my side. We keep saying we want to do these better things, and we never get to them. And it's not because anybody's lazy, but it's because one thing is in testing, then something else is testing, and this happened, and that happened, and that measured over there, that measured over there, and this and that. It's 20 things. And we never get to it. I never want to feel like I'm stagnating. Which is what led to my first mental breakdown. The project I was working on just stalled. Never went anywhere. Yet I kept being asked to move it forward. Like, I can't fucking get it to go anywhere. It's stuck. Now, if you'd like to go talk to the person that is so fucking important for this and get them off their ass to do what they need to do, then we can move along, maybe. I know I'm important. I know that my manager really loves having me there, both personally and professionally. But here I am, the evening before we're going to be working pretty much the entire day. Oh yeah, let's not forget that I have to take Olive to the vet. I wanted to go down to my apartment's front office tomorrow and renew my lease. Maybe get to cleaning stuff around here. I have no idea. But now I have to be tethered to this desk tomorrow. Maybe even the day afterwards. Because a bunch of people wanted to get their damn projects done right now. And a fun thing, I believe one of the projects that everybody is on is about rules that, unless you've been working at Market America for years, probably aren't going to know all that well. Or in the case of these people, don't know it all. Pretty much just started still. Haven't been here more than a few months at most. They're figuring out rules that require data that even someone who's been there for years would have problems setting up. It's just a bunch of the same stuff. And I want to see it get better, and I've seen it get better. But there's actually glaring issues that we've mentioned ad nauseum are still happening. There's still massive things that aren't documented. It's still very easy for something not to get added to our automation for months. I still feel like it's just trying to patch it together. And I tried patching it together in college. I hated that. I hated just making it to the next thing, which is all I did. It's all I'm doing now. Is just trying to make it to the next thing. We don't want to keep making it like that. But aside from having people join the team, it's really hard for me to discern one period of time from the next in many occasions. The Scrum team I'm on is giving me little to no opportunity to really automate. And all I'm really getting to know about is one project that's coming down the pipe. Meanwhile, there's any number of other things I could be asked to test. You know, blame the management and QA department. They're doing everything they can. It's just everybody else not doing their job. I thought about it today, QA is just at the bottom of the hill and all the shit rolls down there. Something's wrong, it's our fault we missed it. So then you get out to production time, oh, it was our fault we didn't test it soon enough. So we can prove no, it's the developer's fault. I just want to solve problems, man. I just want to do my work and say they did a good or bad job, not worry that somebody else not doing their job is going to make me look bad. I really don't want that. Maybe in a month I'll seriously start looking around for another job, or maybe I'll just keep being content. Because I've weathered many storms before, I'll weather this one too. Probably the biggest thing I don't want to do is try to argue with Jason about leaving, because the things I said that are probably right, but I also just need to remember who I am. I never want to be working somewhere where it's like, yeah, it's just a job. Which I mentioned earlier, there was someone that wanted to have us take 30 minutes to say how to make the business better. I did think, dude, this is just a paycheck. I don't care whether y'all's business model gets better or not. If it stays the same and y'all still pay me, I don't care. I did think of an idea. Just thinking about writing, because, you know, I'm busy making sure other shit ain't broken. And trying to lay out some rough sketch of an idea of what my tomorrow is going to look like. Because I got a lot of stuff I need to work on. I just don't actually know what's top priority and what absolutely needs to be done. And I need to pick up Olive from the vet after they're done with the comprehensive exam and the dental cleaning and all of that, to put her under. And I still want to go renew my lease tomorrow if I can help it. I actually had a rough plan of what I wanted to do tomorrow. Granted, it's not like going somewhere or anything, but still. I'd have to account for it. I'm going to have to interrupt my day. Interrupt something I wasn't planning on to do it. Guess we'll see come mid-August. We'll see if I'll actually do a serious job hunt, or if I'll just moan and bitch and complain about it and then still do nothing about it for months.